everybody, just so you know, this conference call is regarding the plan that we're going to release to, Ed's going to say, look, we're going to clean up the Attorney General's office. So, Ed, I'll go ahead and let you take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Gabe. I appreciate everyone. Sorry for being late. This is Ed Martin, and I am pleased today to be talking with you about a significant plan that we are putting forth and beginning to really clearly state what we do. A few weeks ago, most of June was spent by our campaign talking about an important focus for the Attorney General's office, and that is our veterans and active duty military effort. That was modeled on what we saw done in Virginia, as well as what has been done in some other states. And so this is our second piece of things. This was hurried along a little bit in terms of the topic by the audit last week, but I do want to say for a period of a couple of months now, I have been consulting with former attorneys general in Missouri, including then Senator Danforth, as well as Attorney General Ashcroft, speaking to members of the former members of the staffs of this Attorney General's office here in Missouri, as well as across the country, and consulting with others to try to do two things. One, we knew already that Attorney General Chris Koster has been at the center of a storm, as reported in the Post-Dispatch last year or so, over pay-to-play and some questions of what was going on, but also to spend some time really looking at how we can make the office better and maybe more importantly, have a more effective office that the public has confidence in. And that is a key part of what a leader as an Attorney General should do. So we have seen in the last week, last Wednesday, the release of very specific facts now about how Attorney General Chris Koster has conducted himself. Not only do we have what could be described as, incompetence in maintaining records, whether for the $4.6 million spent for legal and expert witness services with no backup, or some of the other specific questions about maintaining the office and maintaining the records appropriately. But this question now of the relationship between the Attorney General and his campaign soliciting contributions and the conduct of the official office as to these three contingency fee cases. And so we're very concerned when you see that 1 out of 2 lawyers who was bidding on these contingency fee cases, I think the number is 46%, when you see that they have been giving contributions to the Attorney General, and also that he has acted outside of what the law described, which was that he should turn over the veto power, the complete control to the Office of Administration, and some of the other questions. It's very worrying, and I think Missourians are starting to pick up on a pattern of some of these problems. So our effort will be very clear. I mean, we're going to have an effort to make sure that there is backup documentation to all of the costs, legal and otherwise, all of the fees to outside lawyers with backup documentation. One of the problems with contingency fee cases can be that the lawyers make millions of dollars with very little effort because the case has already been progressed by another jurisdiction, and we want to make sure there's backup documentation to show exactly what's going on. Also, we're going to have ask for more of a clear record of campaign contributions sought by the Attorney General's campaign or his related committees. That's another part of this. And at least for the time being, and perhaps for longer, the corruption of this arrangement makes me believe that we must have a moratorium on all contingency fee cases, certainly at least until there's a better understanding of exactly how the process worked. And on our release, you'll see some more of the details. If the legislature acted in August of 2011, if the legislation was incomplete as to their desire, then we should work closely with them to implement what they were hoping to accomplish. Work with the Office of Administration to make sure that the veto language, the ability for the Attorney General to control the awards while he's seeking contributions, should be taken in place. And otherwise, just generally have a more strict criteria, including there is another scandal breaking within the Attorney General's office. I've heard from former staff about no-show jobs, where the sister of Jimmy Hoffa was employed for 2 years, and many people are wondering if she really worked or if she just was paid as a part of the political system. And that should be able to be understood by voters if there is a standardized case management system that shows what cases all the attorneys are working on, and I think that's lacking. So again, the confidence of Missourians in an Attorney General's office, in this important office, has been shaken, and I think we're looking forward to an era of reform that will work with the legislature and the public to make sure that we have as much protection and accountability for these cases and for this important work. So having said that, I know we've spoken to, should be clear, I've spoken to a number of legislators in Missouri, including Senator Munzlinger, who sponsored one of the bills that the Auditor Schweich found had sort of been worked around. I've also spoken to Representative Todd Richardson, an attorney himself, as well as Representative Sue Allen and Marcia Hafner, and we'll look forward to working with whoever is interested in this important issue. So with that, Gabe, I'd be happy to take questions, and I'm not sure if any of those representatives joined us on the call or not, but if they did, they'd be welcome to comment.
Yeah, I think Marcia Hafner is on the line, and we also have, I think, Sue Allen. But what I'm going to do first is go to questions, just to make sure everybody gets their questions off the top of their head, and then we'll talk to Marcia and Sue towards the end. So if anybody has questions, the way to get in and raise your hand is to press *2. So press *2, you'll raise your hand, and then we can go to you, and I'll ask that you identify yourself, what publication or media outlet, say your name, and then go ahead and ask your question. So we have a question we're going to go to. Go ahead, call it, and identify yourself. You're on with Ed Martin.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Okay.
Hello.
Yep.
You can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
You're on.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good. There you go. I'm sorry. I think I was muted. Kevin McDermott at the Post-Dispatch. What you were saying regarding the campaign records of Attorney General Koster, what are you seeking specifically? You said I couldn't quite understand that. You wanted more information about who he was soliciting funds from?
Yeah, I think that when you have a situation where, as we've seen, where 1 out of 2 of the lawyers who ended up bidding on these cases had given money to the Attorney General, it raises questions of exactly what is going on. Now, it's hard to ask an elected official who's campaigning for other offices, to record every solicitation. On the other hand, I think when there is a campaign contribution from someone that the Attorney General and his campaign and others know is bidding, that ought to be, this is what Auditor Schweich said. You can either campaign and ask for money, but then you ought not be in the decision-making position regarding these bids, or you can be in the decision-making about these bids and you can't raise cash. So what I'm saying is more transparency. And look, if you look, this Attorney General has a very public record of using third-party committees to try to move money around. And I think what most people want is, if you're going to take money from whoever, let's be very upfront about it and be transparent. That's what our system demands. Most people would not have known about these contributions and the fact that the contributions came from companies that had, or law firms that had, bids pending if it weren't for the audit. So I think something that gives people more confidence that the pay-to-play isn't going on would be helpful.
But are you asking for something beyond what's already required for campaign disclosure?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, certainly the responsibility of we have a law that says transparency is the key, right? And we've seen in the last 4 months that we've had former elected officials plead guilty to violations related to that. Governor Wilson. So there's clearly some sense that people are playing outside of the rules, or playing to try to hide what's going on. But I think as an Attorney General, you have a different standard, perhaps, than others because of the role you have in the legal system. So certainly right now it requires disclosure. It may be that the Attorney General has an added need to make clear what law firms have been bidding and what law firms have been contacting. I mean, anecdotally, and you could ask the Attorney General, he travels to these events to talk to the lawyers who bid on these contingency fee cases. This is the cottage industry in the trial bar. So, I think those kinds of facts make people really wonder if they can trust what's going on. I'm not sure by the end of it that you just have to not have contingency fee cases because it doesn't work well, but perhaps more disclosure from the Attorney General on who he's getting money from when they have pending bids in front of the Attorney General's office.
All right, Kevin, thank you for your question. Was that it? Kevin? Yeah. Thank you for that. I think we have a couple other people who want to ask questions. Remember, it is *2 to ask a question or to raise your hand, and we'll go to you. *2. When we go to you, you'll hear their line say "line unmuted," so you'll know that it's you. All right, we have another question here. We'll go to you, caller.
Hi, Ed. This is Josh Nelson with the News Leader.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
You had mentioned the no-show jobs. This is kind of a serious allegation. Are you talking about the former judge Hoffa in Missouri?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she's still a judge or not.
No, yeah.
I'm curious.
The public record reflects. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm not saying that I have knowledge of no-shop jobs. What I'm saying is that when there's a lack of record keeping by the Attorney General that doesn't allow people to know exactly how the money was spent and how their tax dollars are spent and how people are working, and that's what the audit says, then you have to cast doubt. And I have heard for, a period of months now, and the record, if you go to Missouri's accountability portal, shows, and go to Chris Koster's website, he created a new division, the Division for Labor, Civil Rights, and Voter Rights, announced that Jimmy Hoffa's sister was the chair of the head of the division, and then 2 years later, when she retired, being paid $100,000 a year, the division disappeared. It's no longer on the website. There's no indication of why. With a flourish, he announced the creation of it. And from what I hear, again, you should ask for yourself, but we have, had people talking to us about how that division was created solely for that person. And again, if we don't know what the records are to say, this is why we have to have. I'm not worried about running his office. I'm worried about hopefully being Attorney General and saying to the public, you won't have to guess whether people actually come to work, earn their salary, and are on the books. And so that's something that's a building resume of Chris Koster using his position in a way that at least gives people doubt.
All right. Thank you, Josh, for that question. I know. I think we have Marcia Hafner and Sue Allen on the line. If you guys would press *2, we'll go to you in a second. Press *2, Marcia Hafner and Sue Allen. But first, I want to ask Ed a question we had submitted. Ed, has this kind of been a prolonged problem in Missouri? And then, kind of a second part, I guess. This is one submitted. Do you believe that these developments tie together with the 2008 ethics investigation of Koster?
I mean, look, it's hard to know. I think that Attorney General's offices, if you go back and, for example, I asked Attorney General John Ashcroft how the office changed since he was Attorney General years ago. And he, among other comments, he said, well, the Democrats learned how to use the office to make money for their campaigns. So if you look back, Governor Jay Nixon is very well known for having, for a few months' work, given $100 million in legal fees to colleagues of his. So this is an abuse, sort of a systematic change in how the office is used. Now, I don't know, and I'm not here to try to, say I have all the facts today, but when you don't have record keeping, documentations to back up how the money's spent, you start to ask yourself, where'd the money go? And in this case, Chris Koster, $4.6 million spent with lawyers, legal fees, costs, but no paper trail, no backup. It just begins to make questions that I think have gone on now for a decade or more. As to the 2008 allegations, Chris Koster has admitted publicly that he, funneled money through third-party committees. He says he didn't break the law. There was allegations that he did, and the Ethics Commission still has an open complaint against him that has never been adjudicated because there was not at the time a quorum on the commission. So, there's still this question of whether he's broken the law, and this raises more questions. If a sitting Attorney General solicited campaign contributions from lawyers who were then bidding on the cases in which he held back the right to veto, it certainly looks bad, and it would be, more problematic under the law if it was in any way a quid pro quo. So that's why we're serious. I can't run his office. I can't make the Ethics Commission act on complaints that they've had. I can't ask the U.S. Attorney. I can't make the U.S. Attorney look into this. But I can say when I'm Attorney General, should I be elected, we will not have a situation where the campaign is soliciting or whatever's happening from lawyers who are bidding on cases, and we'll have a lot more accountability in the office. So I beyond that, I'm not sure if I have more facts to add. But I would like to welcome, we have the phone set, Representative Sue Allen and Representative Marcia Hafner, both of whom in the House have played a role on oversight and accountability. And I know Representative Sue Allen is currently chair of an interim committee on contracts and bids, and I welcome their interest in this issue and encouragement to all who are in public life to make government more accountable and better for the citizens. So, Sue, do you want to offer comment?
I think we have them on. Yeah. Representative Sue Allen and Marcia Hafner, are you guys on the line?
Yes, I am. It's Sue.
Okay, Sue. Sue, well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to speak today, and certainly I agree 100%. I believe oversight is a key function, and I feel as a legislator that's one of my greatest responsibilities. And actually, Representative Hafner and I are both on budget. And within our various appropriations committees, we perform oversight of the departments. And I know Auditor Schweich has done a great job in his audits the last 2 years, of which Representative Hafner and I and some others, we delve into those. And it's just going to be great to have an Attorney General in Ed Martin that we'll be able to trust will accurately look into many situations. And again, transparency, I think, is totally required for the accountability that we need and the people in the state need when they are using our taxpayer dollars.
Well, Ed, do you have anything you want to add to that, or?
Oh no, thanks, Sue. I think one of the things that I learned over the years is that the hard work of the budget committees and some of these oversight committees is you have to dig in. You have to dig in such depth, and when you don't have people who cooperate with the law and with what you're doing, like I think the audit showed, then you feel like you're sort of working uphill and you're pushing something uphill. So I'm encouraged that Representative Allen is looking at all these issues and is serious about it. And I think in the last few years we've seen a real growth in our state in this type of accountability and oversight that gives people both. We want the tax dollars used well, but we also want people to have confidence that their leaders understand how important this is. So thank you, Sue, and I appreciate your encouragement.
All right, great. Well, if we have any more questions, remember to press star two, and you can get your question in. And then I don't know if Marcia Hafner's on the line or not, but if Marcia is on the line, please go ahead yourself and hit star two, and we'll try to get you on as well. But from my point of view, I just want to let everybody know that we'll be sending out a press release in this regard to lay out the plan on paper. So keep your eyes out for that. That'll be coming out later today. So, well, it looks like we don't have any more questions right now. Ed, any closing thoughts or anything you want to conclude with? No,
I just say thank you to all of the members of the press and to those interested to get on. And as I said, we're excited about this. This is our second rollout of what I think is a significant, thoughtful plan. I hope people will give it a real hard look, and the assistance of the press in addressing it will be helpful so that we can make it better and make it more responsive. And we'll look forward to talking to people about it more. So thanks, Gabe. Thank you, everybody, and have a happy 4th of July.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call with us today. And if you have any questions, contact us. You can email me at gabe@edmartinformissouri.com or check out our website at edmartinformissouri.com.